Good evening. Welcome to VATV show. Today is October 16, 2013. My name is Mary Trong. Before we introduce to you a very special guest that will talk about why she's running for Boston City Council at large, I would like to make a few community events announcements. We would like to invite you to attend the mayoral candidate forum on issues affecting immigrant communities. This will be on Wednesday, October 30th, 2013 at 6 p.m. at Vietnamese Community Center. The address is 42 Charles Street in Dorchester, which is next to Fuse Corner stop of the red line on the T station. So the second event is a college day sponsored by American Civic Association on this Sunday, October 20th at noon to 3 p.m. at 87 Tyler Street, 4th floor, Boston, Chinatown. So please participate. This program will be repeated 3 times. As you know, this show is live on every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sunday at 5 p.m., Monday 1 p.m. and Tuesday at 11 a.m. You can always call in. This is a live show at 617-708-3290. This program is sponsored by VATV, which is Vietnamese American Initiative for Development. And this is the voice of Vietnamese American throughout the greater Boston area. So please welcome our special guest, candidate for Boston City Council at large, Annissa George.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, so since maybe some people, not many, have not heard about who Annissa George is, would you share with us who you are and why you're running for City Council, especially at large?
Sure, I'm very happy to. So my name is Annissa Essaibi George, and I'm running for Boston City Council because I think my voice, that voice of a mother, of a teacher, and as a small business owner, and an incredibly active community member, is an important one to have at City Hall. And my husband and I have 4 children. My oldest boy just turned 9, and I have 7-year-old triplets. And we're a pretty active household, and I think that part of what we do as a family is participate in the community at large. And I think that the issues that are important to me and the issues that are important to my family are also some of the issues that are most important to the residents of the city of Boston. And I look forward to serving all of them as a city councilor at large.
I see. So now, how does the Bostonian see you apart from the other candidates?
Well, one of the things that's most special about me, I think, in this race in particular, I am the only mother in the race. I'm certainly the only person, I think, that's run in city politics for as long as my memory serves me that has triplets. Yeah. But again, I am the only mother. I'm a Boston Public School teacher. I've been a teacher for 12 years at East Boston High. And those experiences of being in the classroom day after day, those practical experiences, certainly set me apart from the other candidates when we talk about education so much. I'm also a very proud business owner. I own the Stitch House in Dorchester, which is a yarn shop and sewing store. And the experiences of a business owner and bringing those to the table with me certainly give me a very unique perspective of the city as a whole.
So you also participate on the community boards as well. So share with people, you know.
Sure. No, I'm very active in Dorchester. That's part of why being a candidate for city council has been so exciting for me, because I've been able to share the things I've been doing my entire life with the city. And you know, over the course of the last few months, it's been an active dose of campaigning, but really just talking about the issues that are most important to me in a formal setting, because these are conversations I've been having for a very long time with people. I'm a former civic association. I was the president of Columbia Seven Hills Civic, one of Boston's, certainly one of Dorchester's, but one of Boston's largest communities and civic associations. I was a founding member of the Friends of Ryan Playground, which is a great playground on Dorchester Ave. Great. And a group of us came together to work on redeveloping and re-energizing and creating a more positive environment at Ryan Playground and its eventual redesign and reuse by the community. I'm also on the board of directors for the Dorchester House Health Center, where I receive my child care and my kids' care. I've been a patient there since I was 6 months old, and I'm a proud board member for the last 10 years or so, and it's exciting to be part of the community. And it's very exciting to bring those activities and those commitments into sort of the public venue and into a more formal role as a city councilor.
Yeah, certainly you're very rooted in Dorchester and everyone knows you. So now, what would be some of your top priorities if you get elected?
Sure, no, it's a fantastic question, and I'm not just rooted in Dorchester. I'm also, my roots are pretty strong in East Boston. I've been teaching at the high school for the last 12 years. But for me, the most important issues, one is education. As a high school teacher, I think that the city needs to spend some of its time and its energy and its resources really on working towards improving our high schools so that our high schools are an option for all of our families, and we're excited about sending our kids there. My other issue is economic development. As a small business owner and as a former Main Streets director in Fields Corner, I think that small businesses and small business neighborhoods need to be strengthened and improved, and our Main Street program should be stretched into other areas. But most important to me is really this piece of public safety. And it really is the most important thing to me. If we're not safe in our homes, if we're not safe in our schools, on our streets, in our businesses, we don't have a livable city. And I think we need to take all of our collective brain power and put it towards solving this public safety issue, which is also a public health issue, and work towards resolving this gun violence that's happening in our city, but also work towards resolving some of the nonviolent crime in our city, because they're interconnected so deeply, and we need to work on them at the same time.
Right. So, talking about the Boston public school system, and so now students in the Boston public school speak more than 80 languages, and about 1/3 are English language learners. So therefore, they're struggling to get an education and be prepared for college or entering into the workforce. So do you have any thoughts on how you can help them?
Well, it's certainly something that we deal with quite a bit in the East Boston community is English language learners.
Right.
And oftentimes we put our students, our young kids, into situations where they're just learning English. They're probably not, many of them are not fluent in their native language.
Right.
And we're putting them into programs that very quickly we're expecting them to take some standardized tests, and we're not setting them up for success. We're really preparing them for failure. And we need to work with that community in a very sort of special and customized way, because we have so many languages that our kids speak that we need to tailor some of our programs to deal specifically with them. And I think that needs to include a conversation about extending the school year for those students so that they can fully learn as much as they can about the English language, so that they're better prepared to enter our workforce at graduation or to go to college, because these kids are oftentimes seen as...
I'm sorry, we have a caller calling in.
Oh, great.
This is exciting. Caller, please state your name, please.
Hi, Tongal, it's Fee.
Can
Hi,
you
Annissa.
repeat? I cannot hear you. We cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry, this is Fee Tran calling. This is a Dorchester resident. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi.
Yes. Can you repeat, please?
My name is Fee.
Hi, Steve.
Fee. P-H-I.
Oh, hi, Fee. I'm sorry.
Fee, yes.
No problem. I just wanted to call. Sorry I interrupted your conversation, but I wanted to talk about some of the things a lot of city councilors at large have not really addressed, which is very important to me. And my personal story of growing up in Dorchester is my pathway out of poverty, which is a similar story to a lot of people in Boston. So I just really would like to turn the conversation on what is your goals in promoting people and helping the poor out of poverty, not through, things that I hear about in small economic development or bigger steps like that, but very small steps to help people with their immediate needs and the poor in our community.
Sure, that's a fantastic question, and I don't think it's unrelated to what we were just talking about. As a parent, I know one of the best ways to make sure that my children are successful in their life and have enriching and productive lives is through education. I think that we need to make sure that all of our youth especially are educated, and that extends over into their families, because we need to make sure that we're taking care of the whole child, and that whole child incorporates the parent and the community as well. So I think that education is the #1 key, and that also ties into providing opportunities for once those kids are done with school, when they're done with us, preparing them for the workforce, making sure that there are work opportunities for them. And while they're in high school, for example, and high school is really my area of expertise, but while they're in high school, that we're connecting them with work and job opportunities while they're students. And we have in the city of Boston a great summer jobs program that has experienced some cuts over the last few years. But we need to start looking at how do we extend that summer jobs program into a full year program, because many of our students want to work and many of our students need to work. So we should be trying to connect them with jobs that are going to help them develop their individual skills. And by having those skills at an early age makes them better prepared for work right after high school, right after college, but for the long term. And when you learn skills on the job, it's very difficult to lose those because you own those. Yeah, that was a great question.
Yeah, thank you so much, caller. You're welcome to call again. So back to our guest here. So now, Annissa, as a mother and as a business owner and as a community activist, do you think that would be an advantage for you to run? And how can you manage your time to be a superwoman?
Well, I think that it's certainly an advantage. Having these experiences that are so directly related to what's happening in our local government, and realizing the importance of community activism and being able to recognize. We've got another question,
you have another question, then come back. I'm sorry to interrupt you, caller.
That's quite all right.
Yeah, we welcome your question. Please speak up, please.
Good evening. And my question is, does your guest believe in term limits for all politicians from state, local, and federal?
That's a fantastic question. I'm trying to win this first seat, and I think that term limits should really be determined by the voters. So I guess my answer is no. I don't believe in term limits. I do think that the voters should decide that. But one thing, though, connected to that is a city councilor is only elected for 2 years, where our mayor is elected for 4 years. And I think one of the changes I would like to see is to move a city councilor's term in office to move to 4 years. I myself am not looking forward to a lifetime in public elected office. I think that there are a number of things that I'd like to get accomplished. I hope that I'm good and successful at my job, and I hope that I'm reelected after my first term, my second term. But I do think that as the community wants change, the community should go out and create that change, and it shouldn't be mandated other than at the ballot box.
That's a great
another
answer.
good question.
Yes, another good question. So thank you, caller, for calling in. So back to the conversation about how can you manage your time?
So I'm a big believer in when you want something done, you ask a busy person.
Right.
Because one of the greatest things about being a parent and being a mother, especially of 4 young children, is this idea of budgeting and being efficient and being able to manage not just your own time, but everybody else's time. Right. And we, in my family, we've got, these kids are playing a lot of different activities, and they're playing soccer and baseball and flag football and hockey, and I mean the list goes on.
Right.
And being able to manage that, I think, is in some ways a great preparation for being even busier.
Yes.
I will, once elected, I won't be able to continue teaching, and many elected officials are also lawyers, and they have a law practice on the side.
Right.
And I've built in my business a very fantastic and supportive staff. They've got a great work ethic, and they certainly treat my business as if it's their own business. So I do believe I can manage it all, and I do believe that having these other activities in my life, my family being one of them, my business being one of them, my community being one of them, all of that makes me a better city councilor.
So certainly you have to be able to multitask.
Absolutely.
And so you have a schedule Like
Right.
what time you be home and what time you should be
Absolutely,
in the
yeah.
office and to manage. Yeah, so
Right.
that's
And that's in
wonderful.
every career. That's
Yes.
in every career, regardless of whether it's in the public life or not. And all of my activities and all of the things I do and will continue to do certainly make me a more qualified candidate for city council.
Yes, that's wonderful. I certainly have my vote for you on that one. Okay, because I know it's not easy
Yeah,
to be
no.
a superwoman, to be all that to everyone and be good at it. So now let's talk about Dorchester being such a diverse community and especially home to more than 15,000 Vietnamese American and with more than 200 business owned along Dorchester Ave and
Yeah.
outside of that, as you could see. So what would you do as a counselor to help make Fields Corner a destination for business and culture?
Well, Fields Corner is an incredible part of the city, and it's an incredible neighborhood of Dorchester. And as a former Fields Corner Main Streets director, I spent a lot of my time in Fields Corner, and it's really just a few doors down.
Right.
You know, I grew up on Dorchester Ave, so it's
Right,
just a
right.
few blocks down from where I live now. I think that we need to continue supporting the businesses that are already there. The city as a whole can work to improve our infrastructure, continue to improve our transportation system through Fields Corner so people can get there. It's certainly a citywide tourist destination for the incredible restaurants, for the great shops that exist. We have an incredible athletic field in the middle of Fields Corner, Town Field. So there are many things that can attract people to Fields Corner. We've got to get them there. We've got to promote Fields Corner as a destination.
Right.
And when people come to visit, we've got to give them reasons to stay and more opportunities to stay. And that's really creating and adding to and building up what's already so great about Fields Corner right now.
So talking about community safety there, do you think it has been improving?
I think across the city, safety has improved, but that doesn't make a difference for anyone that has been the victim of any crime. If, you know, no matter what the numbers say, if you as an individual have been the victim of a crime, crime is bad. And we need to work as a city to continue taking care of that and making that number as small as possible. And one of the ways I'd like to do that is to bring back and to encourage more community policing from our Boston Police Department. We've got such a fantastic group in our C11, that the C11 police station, that's sort of the district around Fields Corner.
Right.
And we need more officers on the street, and we also need to bring back that old school community policing where we've got police officers walking the beat and a part of our community, and getting to know the residents better, getting to know the business owners better, just really adds to a whole improvement of the Fields Corner area. But you know, I've been the victim of a crime, and crime is only as good or as bad as you see it as an individual, and we need to make sure that Dorchester's reputation continues to improve,
Right.
and Fields Corner in particular.
Right.
Yeah.
Certainly, as a victim of a crime there, you certainly know what you want to do or what you have to do in order to make
Get
it
them off the
safe.
streets.
Right. Okay, so we all know that the city has become so diverse. So do you plan to have bilingual speaking staff?
I think it's
to
the
serve?
only way to have an effective office that can get the job done is to have a bilingual staff.
Right.
You know, we need to be able to communicate with the residents of Boston, and we need to know what the issues are, what the challenges are, what the great things are that are happening.
Right.
And the only way to do that is to have a staff that can communicate with the residents. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. All right. So
I may steal you away from the Dorchester house. I'm just kidding.
I'll be glad to help you in any way.
I know.
Okay. So now the voter, Bostonian, Vietnamese American, everyone in general. Why should we vote for you?
Sure. Well, the nice thing about this particular race is you do get 4 votes.
Yeah.
But I hope that you'll consider me for one of those 4 votes on November 5th. As the only mother in the race, as the only teacher in the race, and as a small business owner, I feel that I've got all of the right ingredients to make for a great and effective city councilor. And top it off with my experience in the community and understanding that the community is first.
Yes.
In the city of Boston really adds value to my candidacy, and I hope that you will consider me. I hope that you will vote for me on November 5th. And I thank you very much for your consideration.
Well, since we have a couple more minutes,
Yeah.
I would like to give you more opportunity to talk about your passion. You know, why do you want to help the community besides running for office, that is?
Yeah, no,
Why?
that's a great question. Well, one of my sort of personal assets, or one of my key characteristics, is I'm a doer, and I like to sort of see a problem, wrap my hands around it. Don't talk too much about it. Let's just figure out a way to get it done. And I think that lends to itself with, I'm a busy person. So I've got to, cut out some of that waste, and let's get to the heart of the matter and figure out what we need to do as a group. So whatever that group is, whatever that issue is, and how to get things done. And my passion starts with my children. Nothing is more wonderful than having children, and I adore my boys, and hi Douglas and Charlie and Kaden and Sam, because they like to watch these programs.
They're beautiful little children.
They're great children.
Yes.
They're my passion, and my business is my passion. I love the creative side of knitting and sewing, and that's fantastic. I also love teaching, and my students, until I had my own children, were my kids, and all of the kids I have taught through the years, a few thousand, I still consider my children, because there's a special place for them.
Yes.
And as a city councilor, I feel that I can do so much more for my own children. I can do so much more for other people's children. I can do so much more for business owners and community people like myself.
So your parents were first generation from Europe somewhere?
My mother was born in Germany, but she's Polish. She was actually born in a displaced persons camp.
Yeah.
My dad is Tunisian, from Tunisia, and then there's me.
That's why you have beautiful mix.
So I'm half Tunisian and half Polish.
Yes, yes.
And very proud of that my grandparents picked Dorchester. My mother's parents picked Dorchester to move to, because it's been a fantastic life.
Yes.
And I grew up on Dorchester Ave in my grandparents' home. My mom's still there. I'm only a few streets away.
Right.
And it's a wonderful community, and it's certainly been a fantastic experience all around, being a part of this great city and great community.
Let's talk about women in leadership. What kind of leadership quality do you have, besides being a superwoman and very compassionate about helping others?
Well, first, I'm embarrassed that you keep calling me a superwoman, because I don't do anything alone.
Well, to
I
me.
have incredible people that help me on a regular basis.
I see.
And I think one of the keys to my success is I've been able to surround myself with strong people, with smart people, with people with incredible work ethics, and that's been wonderful. But I think that some of the assets, of the keys to my success and my success as a city councilor, is this idea of being efficient, also the idea of being passionate and knowing what's most important, and being able to hear what's most important from other people. Because I have my priorities, which may not be your priorities, but being open to listen to why things are important to you, so that I can act on them in the same passion that you have when you bring them to the table.
Okay, that's terrific.
No, thank
now
you.
we're running out of time. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed the
This
conversation.
is wonderful. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you vote for our superwoman to me, Annissa George. Thank you for watching our show, and stay tuned for the second part. Thank you. Okay.